I'm still trying to work on my tools, trying to sort them and clean them, but I have received my lights, so we'll take a look and see what's in there. So nothing too spectacular here, just some good light bulbs, good Philips one, and matching the temperature of the big high bay lamps. So those are the main pieces, so I have 3 of those. I splurged a little. Alright. So I chose 4000 Kelvin as a temperature. And I think in the cellar, with the stones and everything, it will make for a better look. But we'll see about that. Yeah, it's also secured with a grub screw, which is nice. But it's not that heavy. I've also bought those. So those are very cheap, no splurging in here. It's like 5 euros for one of those. And yeah, there is a lot of added stuff that I don't need. And now I can test, and this is pretty much perfect. And the idea with that, because it will hang, I don't know, a couple foot maybe underneath the vault, and I wanted something to illuminate the vault, and I thought this could be a good match with the shape. It's almost perfect. There is this thing that I can cut. Yeah, so this is working really well. So I will have 3 sets of those 2. One will be here, one will be in the middle, and one will be around here in the middle of this area. And hopefully the beams, which are quite narrow, I chose 90-degree beams, so it won't be as wide, it won't light the wall as much as those. And I hope the beams will be crossing on my workbench here. And I wanted those narrow beams to kind of direct the light and make it a bit more intentional, have some more darker areas in the cellar instead of this really washed out lighting, which is great. But after so much effort in the cellar, I really want to try and work a bit with the lighting and do something really nice. Also, I want to control everything from my home assistant with automation and stuff like that. But I really want to control this accent lighting that will light the vault. Really happy with the fit. I also need to work on the structural support for hanging those. I want to have some kind of cable pass to run the cable, and something sturdy enough that I can hang my lights and maybe other stuff on it. So I've made a temporary connection, so let's try this. So let's try and see. Yeah, definitely much more powerful than those ones. Also, I wanted to see the cone, the illumination, and it's not as tight as I thought it would be. Yeah, it's lighting across it, so yeah, really happy. I'm happy with the temperature of the light. I think, yeah, 4000 is really Really nice actually. I think it's the same as those ones, so it's not reading really different on the camera sensor. So let's try it in a situation. I have hung it here, but I'm liking the feel of it. Yeah, so let's see what it does. Yeah. Okay, I'm liking it. So I've put the exposure in manual this time. So this is the level of light we have with standard Cellar, with my standard lighting. And this is pretty cool. Yeah, so I love the quality of the light. I think the shadows are pretty soft. I like the color of the light. I think it will work well with the gray floor and the warm walls. Yeah, I'll try now to test my ring light. So I'm a bit disappointed by the power of this. Let's take a look. It's almost as it is doing nothing. It was going too well. It was fitting too well inside. So today I've bought the second piece of the puzzle for the lighting. So it's this kind of system which will go on the vault along here, and I'll be using it to run my cables to the light, and I think I will attach the lights to this. Yeah, let's try to see how they connect together. Okay. With both ends supported, it's a bit easier. And is it strong? Yeah, it's pretty strong actually. Here is my solution for hanging the thing. So I had these anchors in here. I think this will be able to make sure I am level on both sides and compensate for the different height of the vault and still have this on the level side. Let's try and find another anchor point for this, which will be this one, I guess. And I will put the scaffolding in here. Let me tell you, this was poorly planned, really poorly planned and badly executed. The issue I have is that the main body is jumping out of the anchor, the tightener. So you're working at one end and it's jumping at the other hand. Which is really annoying. So I've tried to tighten the end here of the hook in the vise. So hopefully it won't do that as much. It's pretty tricky because the connection here is at once rigid, but in some axes it's also a bit bendy, and when you put on some weight, it's behaving very differently. Yeah, I poorly planned because I put this one up, the second one, and now I can't access with my drill, so this is a shame. I wanted the holes to be in line with it, but maybe it's not such a bad idea to have them offsetted where I can. I'll take a break and think how I need to adjust some stuff. Also, working alone is really annoying. I'm happy I'm able to leave my lamps attached. I think these are still useful, but it's gonna be a bitch to really set up well. But yeah, it's really strong. Okay, so it's the day after, and finally I don't think it's too bad. Yeah, you know, it's following the center of the vault. From the scaffolding, I think it's going towards the left, but in fact it's pretty good. I'll try to continue, so I need to put the scaffolding on this side and see if I can attach one another. So I'm nearly there. It's a bit tricky to show you with the lights. And yeah, I'm not level. But I think it's okay. I will need to adjust once it's all put in place. Not as straight and perfect as I would want it to be, but I don't necessarily have big stones where I need to have an anchor, so it's tricky, but I think it will do the job once it's all finished and plumbed. I have some work to plumb it. We are a week later now. I'm relatively happy with what I've did so far. Now I have this last length to do. I cut it a bit, since I'm not exactly at 12 meters. And yeah, just trying to attach it to the last one. So everything is attached right now. I'm a bit disappointed with the direction. I wanted the main line to end up a bit more towards the left. I don't think it's a big issue, it's just a couple of centimeters. For my lights, it's centered here where I will have one light. Yeah, it's a bit offset here. I think it's in the middle of the vault, but not in the middle of the floor. There is a bit of wonkiness between the two. I have abandoned the idea of having it level in the long direction. I want to have it level side to side. There is a drop in the middle, so now I'll move the scaffolding backwards and try to tighten everything and make it as good as I want to, I need to. Okay, so I did another pass, which improves things very gradually, very little. It's pretty hard to correct for all the discrepancies. So now what's left for me to do is cabling all the things. So the ring light, which I'm not too sure about. The main issue I have with those is that they need to be driven with 5 volts since it's a USB, and it's a bit of a pain to have a 5 volt cable running along. It won't work because it's too weak of a signal. Okay, so now I am trying to figure out those ring lights. So I decided to remove the 5 volt ring which is inside, because yeah, 5 volt is a bit too annoying to deal with. So for now I will be using those kind of strips which are 24 volts, And the issue is that they are not flexible enough to conform to the ring, so I need to cut them apart and solder them a bit like that. I've finished with one, it's working, it's difficult to see the brightness, but it's not way brighter than the 5-volt one, but I think it's still better for maintenance and stuff like that. I will need to think about a connector in here, and so it will be simpler to install. For the first one I was a bit struggling, so I decided to create a template or a jig, and this is the third one, and as you can see it's much more efficient. Okay, so I finally have some progress to report. First of all, I have finished making my control panel, control board. Yeah, I mean, I did my best. Let's make a bit of a breakdown of all the things. I have this big power supply, which is taking main voltage, 220 volts, and transforming it to 24 volts. I am using this for several things. I am powering those two buck converters, so those are DC to DC converters. The first one is converting the 24 volt to 3.3 volts to power the ESP32, and the second one is also 24 volt to 3.3, but it's powering the relays. I have two different ones because when the relays are switching on and off, apparently it can have some noise in the power supply, so I didn't want them on the same power line than the main board. So this is the brain of the system. The ESP has here a Wi-Fi antenna, and it's connecting to my home assistant. This board that controls the relays and also outputs a signal intended to use to dim the lights here. So I have those cables, so those are 10 volt. It tells the light how bright to be, but I can't really control those from the ESP directly because it's only able to output 3.3 PWM signal. So this is a pre-made board, which job it is. So it's taking the 3.3 PWM and it's outputting something between 0 and 10 volts. This will be driving the lamps. Also, the 24 volt is powering this board, which can be powered between 15 and 30 volts. So this was really nice. And this 24 volt is arriving here, and I am dividing it here, so it's coming down there and going through a relay used to power the ring light. So I have all of my ring lights now. It will be powered by a cable like this. So I really wanted to keep the form factor of the ring light because this is absolutely amazing. This signal, it will be the 0 to 10 volt, which I'll need to divide in 3. And this power line will be the 24 volt for the ring lights, which I also need to divide in 3. So here we have the main voltage, which will power the main LED high bay lights. Those will be controlled by those two ones. The first one will control 2 of the LEDs. I will have another one, the third one, in the middle of this part, which will also have a relay. And the last of the relay will control the 3 light bulbs I have at the back of the cellar. Alright, and I've printed those brackets. After the fact, it's not really thought out, but they're alright, and I have a cutoff. And it's pretty tight, and also of course the cables will be zip tied to it, so the cable will provide, I think, most of the strength, but as it is, it's really able to hold the weight, so I'm not too worried. So I have tested some part of it, but not as integrated as this. So Let's try it. Okay, so far so good. I have lights here and here, and also on the power supply, which is supposed to be the case. Now, let's see if this is picked up by the Home Assistant. Okay, so the light is definitely not on. It's not good. Let's try the ring light. Okay, so this is working. Okay, I just replaced the Wago with this. All right. So this is starting to look like something. LED light, first light group, and let's test the dimmer now. It's at 100 and it's dimming. All right, this is amazing news. So I'm splicing my cables for all the connections, the main power, the 10 volt dimmer, and also working on the 24 volt LED rings. And trying to do my best. It's not really my best work, but making do. That's why I need a workshop. So I'm ready to start my installation. I have my lamps, I have my control panel. The other lamp is here, and I've already put this one in place. I couldn't wait to see what it gave as a light, but I need to remove those ones, starting from the back. So I need to figure that out, and then do the cabling for this one, which will bring it here, where I will have my control box. I think I have a lamp here and another one here. I have all my dimensions in here, so I should be able to find that out with the reference from the back wall. And I need to activate my laser level so that all the lights are in the same, roughly the same height. It turns out it's pretty difficult, like putting all the cable in the top conduit, the rail, and also I'm trying to be future oriented, so I'm putting another conduit, and I'm trying to put a cat cable. I don't really know if I will need it, but I prefer to have it now rather than having to put the scaffolding again. Okay, so making progress little by little. Yeah, way more work than I anticipated. I'll sort the cables out and I'll try to hang the second one. And I think maybe I'll pull the cable all the way to the end, hang the third one, and play with my control box, because this is probably the thing I want to do at the end. Alright, so it's the last part of the job. Making everything go inside this, make all the junction and derivation, and hopefully it will work flawlessly. Yeah, I'm a bit tired. I just electrocuted myself, which was really stupid, so not to worry. I was not trying to do something clever and not understanding what I was doing. It was really stupid. Let's do that. I'm done. I'm a bit Disappointed by the ratness of the cable over there, but I don't know, maybe I'll try to clean it up again. But I'm really toasted now. I've been at it for like six hours on the scaffolding with no light, so it's all connected, it should work. So please cross your fingers. We should allow a bit of time for it to connect. Let's see. Yes! Oh, this is amazing. Everything is working. Let's test the dimmer. Alright, so let's start again. The dimmer is working on the back one and the front one, not on the middle one. So let's try like group 1, which is this one. Okay. Light group 2, which should be this one. I don't have my ring lights in here. Light group 3, which is the back of the cellar. And the ring lights. One ring light that isn't powered, and one, and this is the same. So maybe, yeah. Maybe I inverted the two wires because like an empty, the wires for the dimmer, 10 volt dimmer, and the wires for the 24 volt ring light are the same, which is a bit stupid. I kind of like that. So let's try like group 2 and with the dimming at minimum. Okay, this is great. I like it. I was really worried that the ring lights were not powerful enough to have an impact, and it's true that when it's full, it's barely noticeable. With the dimming at minimum, it makes a nice effect. And also, the dimming at minimum is still, you know, it's cozy. Like it feels like a dim light, but it's nice. Okay, so this is it. I've removed the scaffolding. I don't have issue anymore, so I inverted two wires, the dimmer and the 24 volts for the ring light on this one, which was a predictable mistake because I chose the same color for the two different signals. I'm at a really low dimming here, but it's not too bright, it's cozy. And I really like how how the light falls on the wall. And it changes a lot from what I had before. And something I needed to check is the light situation in the middle between the two high bay. I wasn't really sure, but I mean, even here with the shadows, it's quite nice. So I think, yeah, it's working as well as I hoped, a bit better even. So this is with full power, 50%, and this is at the minimum dimming. And with just the ring light. This is the end of this video. I know it's quite late. I was really busy with other stuff. Next, I'll tackle the electricity in the cellar. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.